school, and all James Woods can say is, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy. When the Bowen turned into a vampire, all James Woods could say was, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy. When he became Peter's best friend, they sat around the house and said, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy. And you know that James Woods practiced his lines real well, but everything that he reads becomes real hard to spell. Everyone tries to help him, but the words just won't come out. There's only one thing he can think of, and it's what comes out his mouth. Ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy. When he comes out of his house, the women scream and shout, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy. When they know that he's nectar, the best of them all, when he says, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy. Reese's Pieces on the floor and watch him come a saying, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy. And you know that James Woods practices his lines real well, but everything that he reads becomes real hard to spell. Everyone tries to help him, but the words just won't come out. There's only one thing he can think of, and it's what comes out his mouth. Ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy.
we have been compelled to create a permanent armaments industry of vast proportions. We must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets. And they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. That's against their interest.
I am a revolutionary, and you're going to have to keep on saying that. You're going to have to say that I am a proletarian. I am the people.
As a councilwoman, do you think you should really be in handcuffs? Does that send a good message? You're breaking the law?
This is about political leadership. All the best activists in the past and in the present have put their lives on the line to fight for the rights of workers.
They don't want people who are smart enough to sit around the kitchen table and figure out how badly they're getting fucked by a system that threw them overboard 30 fucking years ago. They don't want that. You know what they want? They want obedient workers. Obedient workers. People who are just smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork and just dumb enough to passively accept all these increasingly shittier jobs with the lower pay, the longer hours, the reduced benefits, the end of overtime, and the vanishing pension that disappears the minute you go to collect it. And now they're coming for your Social Security money. They want your fucking retirement money. They want it back so they can give it to their criminal friends on Wall Street. And you know something? They'll get it. They'll get it all from you sooner or later because they own this fucking place. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. You and I are not in the big club.
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe.
We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
Hey, I got that little groovy music when I come in. You're like, hey, welcome to Cinemax After Dark. I'm David.
I know. I was going to say, did I come on to a dance show?
That wonderful voice you guys are hearing is none other than Darryl, a.k.a. Black in the Empire on Twitter. A fantastic voice. We're going to get to him in just a moment. I don't want to give a shout out to the chat. We got like 7 people watching. That's a lucky number, man. Lucky Burrito, Noli D. We've got Steve Cutler live. And who else? Another Steve. Steve W. Sorry, Steve. Steve Wolfbrand. There you are. And I'm sure some others will trickle in as we go along. Velvet Trance. Hello, darling. Kitty likes to scratch. What happened? Sorry, I took an edible about 6, and now I had to shut the window because there's loud ass people outside, and I'm drinking coffee too because the edible from before had made me sleepy, so it's like I'm trying to catch up. Anyway, welcome to Extra Bully. I'm your host, Uncle Warren. You may say, what the hell's Uncle? I'm going to call you Uncle. You're not my fucking uncle. Well, that's fine. You can call me whatever you want. Just don't call me late for supper, okay? Because I get a little hungry. It's an old radio name, Uncle Warren from back in the 90s. It's because I am an uncle, and I love my niece and nephew so much. I gave myself the radio name Uncle because I'm good like that. And I didn't have enough money to give them for Christmas presents, so I had to do something else, so I used my pseudo fame that I had at the time. Also, a quick reminder, we'll have more of this on Twitter later. Coming up, Halloween night. Halloween night, we're doing a special Extra Bulla Live Halloween night. I might get the missus I'm pointing at her like she's here, but she's not here. If she were, she would be on this side. I'm trying to get the missus. We're going to tell some spooky ghost stories, some of your favorites, maybe some obscure ones too. Try to scare the shit out of you because it's Halloween and that's what you're supposed to do. And get candy. So scare, candy, and, if you're older, probably, get some pussy or something. I don't know what you do. Maybe drink or whatever, have a smoke. But it's mostly scaring people and candy. But let me bring him in here. Darryl, good to see you. You have such a lovely place there. I love your place. I have to have a fake background because it's a sad wall, and on the other side of the sad wall is a sad apartment with a sad lady and a sad but very loud dog. So hopefully we won't hear any of them, and only you. How are you doing, good sir?
I'm doing okay. So I guess I'll try to be like Jimmy Do. I say I'm broadcasting from my basement in Baltimore.
The basement. I'm from the Brooklyn Batcave. I'm from the Brooklyn Batcave, and you're from the Baltimore basement. So it's all good. Right. Now, you and I were talking before we got on here. You used to live in Brooklyn, right?
Right. Yeah, I lived in Brooklyn for I won't say the majority. I actually grew up in Queens, but after I went into the military and then I came back out, I moved to Brooklyn. I lived between Brooklyn and California for several years, but I guess at least 15 years of my life or so I lived in Brooklyn, and I went to school in Brooklyn.
Oh, right on. And you say you went to Brooklyn Tech, where all the smarty pants went, right?
Yeah. I went to where the smarty pants went. I lasted there for about 2 years before they decided that my temperament wasn't good for the school. Then I wound up going to school in Queens, finishing the school in Queens at Long Island City High School.
I've seen those kids at Brooklyn Tech. Yeah, you're probably better off not. You're probably better off not being there. So, we were talking about. I live right across from Brooklyn Tech, and so you said it's been like a few years, like about 3 years since you lived here. What do you remember?
Yeah, I moved to Baltimore 3 years ago. Yeah.
What do you remember about Fort Greene in this area? Like some of the things that stick out to you.
Well, for me, like I said, like the later years, like I say, close to before I moved away from New York, Fort Greene was actually kind of a fancy area compared to where the parts of Brooklyn I lived in Bed-Stuy. But I know back in the day, Fort Greene was I guess the most. When I thought about Fort Greene, I thought about the projects mainly there because I used to visit there quite a bit. But to me, like I said, I know you said things have changed, but for me, I remember Fort Greene actually, as they started building up like the downtown Brooklyn area, it became a lot more fancy than it was when I was younger.
Yeah, it's gotten fancy. They have, they got rid of Brooklyn used to have like that height limit for buildings, right? So that's why all you saw like brownstones and stuff like that. Well, they got rid of that. And now, if you go down Fulton, like you're going towards Flatbush and the Fulton Mall and that area right there.
Oh yeah, they got skyscraper. I mean, they got tall residential buildings going up there.
Yeah, and then as you're going towards Brooklyn Bridge too, they've got a whole bunch over there. They have this place where I actually got the Jibber Jabber. I got that at City Point, and they had a place over there to get the Woogie Boogie is what I call the big C, not cancer. Try not to get taken off the air. We're using code words, everybody.
I say, we got all kind of code. We got all kind of code going on here.
I know, right? But they have like this big what do they call it? The some big giant theater there now that you can eat in and watch the movies and stuff like that. And they got a Target over there. They got the Target. So and a Trader Joe's down in there. So they got your hipsters are taken care of right there on that spot. It's I want to say that's closer.
That's all City Point now you're talking about?
Yeah, City Point, it's like when you cross over Flatbush on Fulton, it's like, and you take your first right, there's that little square there. I think it's called Albee Square or something.
Albee Square, yeah, you're talking about where Toys R Us used to be.
Right,
you remember all that Toys R Us there years ago?
I've only been in this neighborhood since 2013, so...
Oh, okay. So yeah, Toys R Us, yeah, that was after the year. Toys R Us was there before then. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like you take that, you go right there, and then you take that not the first right, that's Bond Street. Then you go up, and then there's like another one. Yeah, they made like a whole oh shit, I'm trying to destroy the place. They made this whole shopping center thing. They had a Century 21 in there, but it went out of business since that thing happened, and shit started closing. But yeah, they had a place in there where you could get the jibby jab, so that's where I got my my Moes. I got 2 Moes that. Anyway, I don't even talk about that because that was like I had the Big C last year, and lost taste, smell, and I was a little fatigued for about a week, and that was it. But then I got the, and it was like. I took the brown acid. They told me not to take the brown acid at Woodstock, but me, I'm like, I'm shoveling it in. Anyway, but yeah, so that whole area over there, there's a whole bunch of high rises and shit like that, right across from Long Island University over there. And there's what is that?
Yeah, my aunt used to live right behind there, right behind the LIU. The university apartments or whatever it was called.
Right.
Yeah, they wound up when they decided to turn it into like real condos. They tried to get her out of there for years. But
yeah, I know,
she wound
right?
up hanging until she passed away.
Yeah, they basically say if you poor, get the fuck out of here. The only reason I could afford to live here. I don't know if you can see it. Let me put on the disappointment cam because in more ways than one, there's my boy there. He's my spirit animal. But basically from here, about another foot is the other wall. And then I'm touching the wall on this side. And then over here, I got maybe another 2 feet. So hence disappointment cam in more ways than one.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I got out. That's one of the reasons I got out of the city because I was paying for a 2-bedroom apartment in Bed-Stuy, which my area was not the greatest area. I was paying like $1,800 a month in rent, and I said, "Listen, I'm never going to be able to afford a house in New York." So I said, "Let me just try to find some place where I can get someplace decent." Now I pay half of that, for my house here.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, it's a pretty special situation. The dude that owns this building, it's like one of the last decent mom and pop outfits that he's like super nice guy. He got I think he got he used to drive a cab and then he got into a car wreck or something and he got some settlement back in the 70s. He ended up buying 3 brownstones for like $30,000 a piece.
Oh wow, he made out.
But he was playing the super long game because when he bought him at the time, Fort Greene was like a war zone, right? He was telling me I
remember.
You go down to Fort Greene Park, chances are you're probably buying drugs if you're not playing basketball, because that's a place where you got your stuff, and according to him, so And he played the
telling me the truth.
Yeah, it's he said this. He planted. There's like a lot of these trees along Fort Greene between DeKalb and Fulton. He planted trees that have been there since he bought these places. So, and they're lovely trees too. It's nice. Now the leaves are falling. The shit's getting all over the sidewalk. Of course, typical New Yorker going to complain about beauty. You know, beauty being a pain in the ass. But yeah, and then there's Spike Lee's place, his studio.
Yeah, studio. Yeah,
on one of the Saint Streets, or like Saint something. I can't remember. I don't like my neighbors. They're all like Karens and hipsters, so I just kind of stick to myself a little bit, you know. But yeah, I pay $760 a month for this glorified walk-in closet. And there's a building on this side and a building on this side. They both got renovated within the last like 5 to 6 years. And this one over here, it's like one apartment per floor, and I think they're charging like $5,000 a month for each.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's like they got a little bitty Whole Foods right over here, and there's some Starbucks around here, so you know if those are in the neighborhood, you can forget about cheap rent.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, that used to be my joke. Like whenever I lived in any black neighborhood, I said, if you ever see a Starbucks coming soon sign, you're about to get run out of here.
That's what my girl says. That's what my girl says. She lives over on the Lower East Side, and she's seeing that happen over in her neighborhood too. She lives with her mom over in public housing, so it's not like she's, getting gouged. She's not living in the best of spots, but, she's not paying like all this crazy amount of money, but she sees all these places that are opening around there that are just like, there's some for low income folks, but the majority of it is just for high income folks. And that's basically what New York's turning into,
But that's what they do, That's how they get the money from the city. They say, we'll give you like 10% affordable housing, And at one time, I was thinking that my neighborhood, even in Brooklyn, they had built these new buildings, right? And I think it was like supposed to be 20% for low, I guess what they consider low income, but it really wasn't even low income to me because you still had to make like at least 30 or 40 grand, or so around 40, I think, to be able to get in there. But then what they tried to do was they tried to make the people with the lower income, the lower income apartments, come in and go out of a separate entrance. So that's so that the people who were paying the high rents didn't have to mingle with the other people.
I think my girl was telling me about that too, that there was a building like that. She said a friend of hers lived in there, and like she was lower income, and they said, "Oh, you got to go out this way," and she's like,
"Yeah."
Wow, that is fucked up, dude. I thought maybe she was just like that was like a one-off, but apparently a few places do that, right?
Yeah, I've heard that in a few places. I like the one I'm talking about. They wound up fighting it, so they couldn't do it. But it was their original intent.
That is messed up. How do you like Baltimore?
Baltimore, like I said, I'm kind of in the hood here, but to me, it's not much different than where I lived at in Brooklyn. I'm in a primarily black neighborhood, like I've almost always been. But I just like the fact that I got myself a decent place, that I could actually afford, and I could raise my kids here, and we could actually maybe every once in a while do something other than come home.
Right. No, I hear you. I mean, pretty much everybody in the chat knows you from Twitter. Hey, what's up, Orange Duke? I see you in there, you son of a biscuit eater. And you always have some really good takes, and I think it's because they're common sense, and it's refreshing when people respond to common sense positively and don't treat you like you're some sort of like weirdo from outer space coming in with this knowledge that, could be easily had if you just open your eyes and your ears, But what was like, I mean, what brought you to here? Like on Twitter, you have a pretty good following on there, and for good reason. But it's what brought you to the thinking that you have today? What shapes your thoughts about the world today?
I don't know. For me, I guess I had my upbringing in New York, and I guess my first kind of view of kind of like almost like the world is a lie was when I went to the military. When I was in the military, I was in communications, and I had access to a lot of information, which is where I found out about how much not just the military industrial complex, but just the government in general was lying and manipulating people. So when I got out, I went through my trials and tribulations. I was homeless for a while. Actually, that's why I got to kind of read a lot, because when you're homeless, I tell people one of the best places to hang out when you're homeless is the library, because nobody bothers you. It's quiet. You can spend the whole day there. You got a bathroom, you got everything.
Mm-hmm.
But so I learned a lot there. But I say too, when I got out of the military, Clinton was in office, and I went back home, and I kind of saw, I guess my political awakening came when I kind of saw the devastation, I would say, that happened in the projects that I grew up in. And that's when it kind of clicked with me, like, wait a minute, the Democrats are in office. The Democrats are supposed to love black people. So why is all of this happening? That's when I learned about the crime bill and things of that nature. And I learned, like I said, it was even more insidious than the crime bill and the 100-to-1 crack laws. Because some of those laws, they actually made it so that if you even got out of prison, you couldn't go back in New York City at that time. Most black people that I knew lived in public housing. Well, you couldn't go back to public housing because if you had a felony, you can't live in public housing anymore. You can't get food stamps. You can't do anything. It was pretty much set up to make sure that you went back to prison. And when I saw that all happen under the Democrats, that's when I kind of got my awakening. From there, once, like I said, once you leave the make-believe land of Republicans and Democrats, it makes it easier to see things, I say, for what they are. And that's kind of where the common sense things comes in, because if you're not involved in this, I have to cheer for this team, I have to cheer for that team, and I'm only going to listen to this piece of information. All the other information is false, that kind of nonsense that goes on. The divide and conquer, as we all know. Like I said, it makes things a little clearer to be able to see what's really happening.
Well, yeah, you got that life experience too. You and I are both in our 50s, and we came up in life from two totally different places. I came up. I grew up in South Mississippi, right? White dude growing up in South Mississippi. Okay. How different from that is that from New York, for a black man? Pretty fucking different, right? But it's like, when I lived down there, I was never taught to be like racist towards people. I can't say my dad was a saint. He was more of like he didn't hate people, but he was more of like a don't do anything to cause unwanted attention to yourself kind of person. He was one of those, like, I like everybody, but I want everybody to leave me and my family the fuck alone, So he would always tell me, don't do shit to embarrass us. So, love you, Pop. I'm doing embarrassing things now, but I waited till you were gone. So, don't hate me wherever you are. Because I don't mind embarrassing myself, but my family is just like, oh, jeez, man, what do you, stop it. But growing up in the 70s in South Mississippi, all right? So, first thing, like, if people don't know much about Mississippi, there's really, like, I would say 2 or 3 different parts of Mississippi that differ greatly from each other. Your coastal counties are more, where I grew up, are more, I would say, a little more progressive than it, because you have that, you're only an hour away from New Orleans, so you have that kind of that metropolitan rub off, sort of, you know.
How far did you grow up from Biloxi?
Oh man, I was spitting distance, about 40 miles. I was up in Wiggins. You go right up 49 there. Yeah, so
because I was stationed in Biloxi for a while, so, at Keesler. Yeah.
What? Mississippi! Hell yeah! How long were you there for?
I was just there for tech school. My tech school was like a little less than a year, and then I would go back every once in a while for TDYs, just for like additional training. So I guess the longest full time I spent there was I think it was 9 months. Or tech school was. It was a long time ago. I can't remember. But yeah, I was but when I was down there, it was pretty crazy because the locals didn't really care for the military guys, but back then, so they used to call us the fly boys, and they didn't like the fact that we would come there. They said we come there taking their women. so we were popular.
Well, yeah, the Navy base there too, the Seabees. So I'm sure they got their fill too, and you damn fly boys taking all our ladies. It's because you had all your teeth in your head. That's why. Shit. I could have all my teeth if I wanted to. What?
You're not such an asshole after all.
No, you were right. I'm just your kind of asshole.
Yeah, see, so it's like that. I'm your kind of asshole with not as many teeth. Well, I mean, do you like seafood? Do you like, the shrimps and crabs and like all that kind of stuff?
Yeah. Well, I'm just more into like the only seafood I eat is like fried. So, my wife, she likes all of the seafood. For me, I'll eat some fried shrimp or some fried fish. But that's about it for me. I don't get into actually I eat fried clams, but I don't get into the lobster and stuff like that.
When you were in Biloxi though, did you get any like shrimp po' boys and stuff like that while you were down there?
Yeah, we used to. I'll say one thing is like the base in Biloxi, at least back then, man, the food even on the base, the food was really good. So yeah, we get the shrimp po' boys and that stuff too.
Yeah, I mean, people say
I didn't really eat out much like in the area because in tech school you're not allowed to do much. After a while, you can go out on the weekends, and we got one on the weekends. All we did was go to those hotels by that artificial beach.
That's right. That's the world's longest artificial beach. I think it's like 32 miles, something like that. Yeah, and I've been onto that beach a few times. I don't like getting in that water though. That water is like, it's kind of like going in the New York Harbor over here, like jumping in Gowanus. Well, it's not as bad as Gowanus. Gowanus is like motor oil, dead bodies, more motor oil, and probably more dead bodies, and it has that weird sheen on there. They built a Whole Foods on 3rd and 3rd, right? Down there close to Park Slope, and it's right there near Gowanus Canal, and they had to delay construction on it because they didn't get all the deadly chemicals out of the soil. New York City, Brooklyn. That's white people, Brooklyn.
I'm not going to try to insinuate that there's chemicals in New York City. That can't be true.
That's white people, Brooklyn, right there. It's just like, but we've got to have this Whole Foods. I need everything organic. Karen, they're here again. Call the police. Sorry, what?
Yeah, I'm gonna be in Park Slope probably on Halloween because I take my youngest. They have the big Halloween thing in Park Slope. Yeah, so
really?
I'll probably be there on the 31st.
Oh, really? What time does it start?
Normally starts I think around 6ish, but I have to check because I still have friends there that we go and we meet. And but I know when I normally go, we normally go around 6, but we normally kind of get there later. It might start earlier, But they cordon off the roads and everything, so they have their little parade, the Halloween parade there.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Me and my lady went to we used to go to the one over there in the West Village there. They were in Greenwich Village. But I think they didn't have it the last couple of years because of, but I think they're having it this year because one of the Richies that lives around there, he said, you know what, I missed this parade. I'm going to foot the bill for it, and we're going to have it. And we're like, well, you can have it. I'd rather go to this one over in Park Slope. So I'll tell my lady about that.
It's a lot more calm. It's more, for me, it's more kid friendly, you know?
Right. It's kind of like New Year's Eve around here too. Like, although we don't really do much on New Year's anymore, but they have the fireworks on the river. I think they were doing it on the Hudson, and now they do it on the East River, which I didn't really give a shit about that. You know, I listen out the window every night. It could be fireworks, might be gunshots. I like playing that game. You know, it's sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. But we went to when I'm wrong, though, I'm usually on the other side of the apartment where it's safe, away from the windows. But we've been to Park Slope, the park there, Prospect Park, for New Year's, and it was great. You know, it was like wasn't a lot of people. And you got to see the pop, you know, and they had like hot chocolate there and stuff too. It was nice, you know. But now I'll have to tell her about Halloween over here, see if she's down for that. She may be just like, and when she does that, she's like, you know, you don't really want to go either. And I'm like, yeah, damn psychic. But I tell her, it's like there's cool people down there, so we might go down there, and we don't. I don't wear a costume because I figure this is scary enough. You know, 6'4", crazy looking white dude, maybe cross the eye a little bit, you know, kind of give a little bit of that. Scaring children's my business. And business is good. All right, well, let's see here. I did want to tell you, I did live in Bed-Stuy for a little bit. What's that hospital that's on Flushing and Broadway? That big brown hospital over there.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the name of it now, though. That's a big hospital too.
Yeah, I think it's like a mental hospital or something like that. I'm not quite. I can't remember the name of it. But my roommate at the time when I got to New York, that was the first place we lived, and he was already here, and he called that place the Chocolate Death Factory. He said because it had a chocolate color, and he said if you go in there with a hangnail, you'll probably come out like with, you know.
Are you talking about the one that was on like on Flushing and Broadway, by the train station by the L?
That big ass one, Woodhall. That's what it's called. Woodhall Hospital.
That's the one.
Yeah, he called it the Chocolate Death Factory. And he said, if something happens, go to Brooklyn Hospital. Don't go here, because apparently he knew some people that went there and did not quite get the medical services that they needed nor expected. So So anyway, I thought that was kind of funny that he called it that, because it was like a brown color. I was like, yeah, it does look like chocolate. Anyway, I don't know where the hell I was going with that. Are you ready to get mad? We're gonna do a little Twitter shitter fun. I did this last week, although it's not fun without another person. But it's just a few things I found on Twitter that we can discuss if you would like.
Sure.
All right, let's fancy TV open.
Shitter was full.
That's right. That damn shitter was full. Let's see what we got here. So, did you see this? I don't know. Can you see that?
Okay. You're going to have to read it for me. I can't see it from here. My eyes aren't very good anymore.
So, this is a new warning. I think if you're going to follow somebody on Twitter, yeah, I'll totally read it. It says, Are you sure you want to follow? And then it's the person you're trying to follow. This account, I think it's new. It says this account has repeatedly posted false information that was reviewed by independent fact checkers or went against our community guidelines. A.k.a. You sure this guy's kind of an asshole? That's why they just come out and say it.
I always love when they say independent fact checkers. Who are these independent fact checkers they keep talking about?
And some jackasses they pay off to say shit's facts. You know, that's what it is. Hey, here's some money. Say this shit's true. Okay. Hey, man, I'll check that shit. You're wrong. This shit. Yeah. So, so apparently that's a new thing. I hopefully.
I haven't seen that yet. So have you encountered that yet following anybody? Or
No, not yet. I'm kind of. I guess they haven't caught up to our troublemakers yet. Hopefully, none of us fall into that category. But the way things are going, you never know. So, hell, we're making up little 6th grade words for the pandemic and the shit that goes on with it, just so they don't take you off the air. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous. So,
it's kind of crazy because you got to try to walk a tightrope. Because I know there's a lot of things I like to say, and I try to put them as either questions or or however I could do it just to make sure, and still try to get my point across.
I know, and it's like you're just telling common sense shit. You shouldn't have to walk across some tightrope, or walk on eggshells just to get your point across when it's shit that everybody else should know. I got something else for you here. That's kind of fun and weird, and let's see where that is. There we go. This is those dogs, those robot dogs. They had the guns on them last week. So now they got one. They have this says so. Hawaii has deployed a robot dog to scan homeless people for COVID at the taxpayers' expense of $150 large. And hopefully this will play. We got a little technology around.
Yeah, I think I saw this one.
Yeah, this is fucked up.
And the Honolulu Police Department provided an update on its newest tool, a robot dog. Spot, the $150,000 robot purchased earlier this year, is used to screen individuals at homeless sites on Oahu. HPD says since the start of the pandemic, the sites have taken in more than 1,700 homeless individuals and have had only 14 positive COVID cases. They believe the mitigation procedures put in place and other technologies such as Spot have helped keep the numbers down.
Having the ability to deploy something that can do all the interactions on a mobile platform and take the possibility of transmission out of the equation, for me, I really don't think that over the long term, $150,000 is a waste.
Spot is able to take a person's temperature from 7 feet away in a fraction of a second. It also has two-way communication capability and can deliver PPE, food, and water to someone who does test positive for COVID.
The fuck is that? What the hell? First it's like, all right, we got a gun. Spot's got a gun. Now it's just like, no, I'm Dr. Dog. I can tell. What if you're just hot? What if you've been running or something and you're like, like you're going to have, you may still be 98.6, but like you may be radiating some heat, right? And you're like, oh, I'm going to take a rest. And here comes, robot Spot. Wow. Wait a minute. Hey, Spot. How you doing, buddy? Ah! Trauma. A little bit of
so they never thought about taking that $150,000 and actually doing something for the people who are actually homeless.
Yeah, take the $150,000 and help the homeless not be homeless no more, and then you don't need no fucking robot dog going around going, "What's your temperature? What's your temperature?"
They never considered trying to, try to stop the homelessness. We're just going to send Spot around.
Right? It's like, well, we made sure that Buford couldn't buy any bullets. So, well, why didn't you just take his gun away? We didn't think about that either. I got something else here for you. I told you we got some crazy shit on here. So, hang on just a moment. Let me get this. There we go. And, oh no, it's nighttime in the city. Wrong one. See, there's this thing, it says eat bugs, not BS. This is a thing where they're trying to get you to eat roaches and shit. 69% protein, 2,000 times less CO2 than beef. It's www.bug.recipes, #allbug, no bull. All right.
Is that real? That's real.
Look, man, unless you and I are tripping balls, that shit's real right there. Eating bugs. That's what they want.
Who is it that's promoting that? Who is it that's promoting that?
I don't know. I'm going to, this way, bugs.recipes. Hang on a second. Now we're going to have to look this shit up. .recipes. All right. What? What? Receipts? I don't know how to spell that shit. Fuck it.
So they're talking about CO2. Are they just trying to say if we eat bugs, we'll be more environmentally friendly?
I guess. Or they know shit's coming. Like some sort of apocalypse is coming. It's like, go dig you a hole. Go dig you a root cellar. All right. Go get you a bunch of canned shits. Go get you some MREs and get to starting to eat bugs right now. Because you're going to do it later.
Prepare yourself.
Might as well familiar yourself with that taste now, because later you're going to be having a Big Mac with cicadas and shit in there. Yeah. So, yeah, I thought that was funny. I was like, oh wait, they're going for a health angle. Then they're like, nah, they just want you to eat bugs, dude. Hall & Oates said, I can't go for that. No can do. So we got this thing here. Did you see this about the Quad Cities DSA?
Oh, yes. I saw that. Actually, I saw that a little while before we came on.
Yeah, I was hoping you had seen some of these, because this is I think this is out of where the Quad Cities. I'm not sure where that exactly that is. Maybe somebody in the chat will know that. I think it's somewhere like around Iowa or something. Anyways, the Quad Cities DSA does not endorse the rally tonight at the John Deere Davenport Works, and we encourage our members not to participate. What the fuck, man? I'm like, okay, DSA says, oh, well, we're trying to run people and get them into office. It's like, well, okay, they think electoral politics is good, but you also have to have some direct action to go with it. And this is direct action. And they're saying, like, well, there's, based on the language of the injunction, the union, its members, blah, 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 a bunch of fucking wimps and don't want to do the shit. Paraphrasing, but it's basically what the shit says. So,
yeah, I think that's the first time. I think I saw them do that with another strike. I can't remember where it was. I can't remember which company it was. So this is like a constant thing. It's amazing how they talk about how we need all of this action. And whenever there's a time where somebody wants to protest or strike, the same people that tell us we should be protesting and striking are the people that all of a sudden, when it happens, try to give us a reason why we shouldn't be protesting and striking. It almost it almost seems like we all being set up. Almost seems that way. Like maybe these people are actually not working for us.
I know this isn't smell-o-vision, but I big smelling the bullshit there. There are your bulls. Right there with the crickets. Anyway, so, yeah, I mean, that was the thing, though, when they got called out, because in the handbook it says, like, they were going to, like, force the vote on, try and hold Nancy Pelosi accountable and try and shake her and stuff. And then they said, nah, we was kidding. We was just fucking around. We didn't know what we was talking about. So anyway, so I tend to get into, let's say, interesting conversations with people from DSA online, and let's just say it doesn't stay interesting very long. Finally, just something else in case you wanted to get pissed off. If your blood pressure was too low, Darryl, I got that. I got you. All right. I'm going to raise it for you a little bit.
Let's see what you got.
Yeah, this is the Cool Whip on the Shit Sunday right here. This lady with it's been a minute since I did one of these. Follow along for a day in the life as we welcome First Lady Dr. Jill Biden to the Bronx to engage teachers and staff, prep for hearings, do laundry, and stream with Bernie. Whew. Now to get ready for tomorrow. And so, unfortunately, we got to listen to this because reasons.
Okay, so I very often try to record a little day in the life for you all, but I usually am not able to because I try, then the day gets too busy. I can't film myself narrating the thing and do the thing. Anyways, today I'm going to try to change that because First Lady Jill Biden is coming to visit right here in the Bronx, our district, PS 83, and I'm the congresswoman to receive her today. So what does that look like? First thing I needed to do this morning was that I needed to go to a clinic and get a COVID test that was witnessed and administered by a...
All right. You get the gist. I don't know if you had your meal for the evening or not, but I didn't want to see it come out because of that vomitous bullshit. So she cut, what is it? Jenny on the block, back in the Bronx. She's ready to hang out with her peeps and her home slices, and she's bringing some old white lady with her. That's some 80s. That's some 80s sitcom shit right there. She's from the hood and Jill Biden's not. She's coming back to the Bronx. The Bronx and the white bitch will be right back.
I just can't take the thought of hearing AOC and Jill Biden like in the same conversation.
Can you imagine what
Jill Biden, Jill Biden is like the weekend, the movie Weekend at Bernie's. That's the way I look at her. Like she's like dragging Biden around. The only thing she wanted to be first lady so bad. I mean, this is a woman who does not love her husband. I mean, you can see that. He said, "Listen, Joe, we are going to the White House. Joe, I will be first lady."
Bitch! I have waited too damn long, and I have been with your stupid ass for too damn long. You've ran for president like 8 fucking times, and now you finally won. I'm gonna change these fucking curtains over here too. Fuck these curtains. Why do you gotta bring that bitch back to the Bronx? You imagine her like walking around just like, what? See, this is what they call a bodega. A bodega. Do they sell drugs there? Well, some of them, but not technically all of them. It's it's all it's New York. Yeah, ain't nobody want that bitch around there. I've been to, but I mean, where she's from, AOC. I don't think she's not from South Bronx. She's like more from Queens Bronx, like somewhere weird up there.
Yeah. I know that's her district.
She says
I know
Bronx.
the parts of Queens. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's probably more because it's probably more Queens than Bronx. I mean, there is Bronx, but it ain't South Bronx. She ain't wearing Kevlar or nothing. So, she She looks like she might blow away in the next wind that comes by, you know. She don't look too street tough, you know what I mean? So I'm not saying, you know, she might be a ninja. Who knows? You know, we all have secret lives.
No, I don't picture AOC as growing up and surviving the hood. But anyways, didn't she really grew up in Westchester, didn't she, or somewhere?
Yeah, I think so. It was like she went to some fancy school or something, and you know, that's like me saying I'm from New Orleans, but you know I live like 100 miles away over in Mississippi. You know, but you know it's so close. It's like a suburb. Mississippi is basically South Mississippi is basically a suburb of New Orleans. So, you know, but. You know, it used to get me chicks back in the day. They're like, oh, you're from New Orleans? Hey, that's cool. Like, yeah, sure, I'm from New Orleans. Ooh. Well, let me get to the chat here real quick. Let's see what's going on here. Blue Moon Red Wine, hello there. I believe you're new. Jill Clausen, hello there. Comrade Carini, Reef, what's up, buddy? I like the chat because it's like there's a whole different conversation going on, right? Sometimes if like what we're doing is good, and it's probably like what the chat is like listening to old people talk about the old days and stuff like that, and they're like and then they're like on their phones or something like that, but they're still listening. They're still getting the knowledge. It's just you know, it's just weird how that works out. It's almost like a whole different kind of ecosystem there in the chat. I like to call it the pit because I'm hoping like Raiders fans and stuff start showing up, some real brutes and some hard living people get in there, you know, because I want more cursing in the chat. I'm a little disappointed. So you say you're gonna you're gonna be up here for Halloween?
Yeah, I'll be there on Halloween. Yeah. I'm just gonna go there and go there in the afternoon, and I'm coming right back. So I'm not gonna like spend the day there. Stay there overnight. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, cool. I go there every year to that parade every year.
I had no idea about that. I'm gonna have to look that up. I'm always just scared to go to Prospect Park because there's too many white people there now, and I'm just not a fan. I mean. But you know, you could work at the ice cream store. You get sick of vanilla after a while. You know what I mean? You want a little something else. So, it's good. It's just there's more flavors. But that's cool. So I heard you on Sabby's Gen X forum last week, and I loved it. That was just my favorite thing because nobody talks about Gen Xers anymore. You know, even if they ever did.
It's almost like Gen Xers don't exist. Yeah.
I know, right? Like we're some sort of like myth or cautionary tale or something. You know, like you don't want to be a Gen Xer. I hear they glow in the dark and time travel and can levitate and they'll steal your wallet. I mean,
but I had forgot they used to call us. I think I saw in the comments after that video. Did they call us the latchkey generation or something like that?
Oh yeah, latchkeys. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because both parents, we were the first generation where both parents had to start working in order to survive, and then the kids were like, well, go to school, come right straight home. Yeah.
Learn how to cook your food.
Right. Well, I imagine, like I said, because we grew up in two totally different like atmospheres. Where I was from, my mom, she was like, she didn't work. She had some things going on with her, so she wasn't able to like drive or anything. And down there, you have to drive. You can't or you have to be driven because. If you don't have a car down there, there's no, trains or buses that you can take. And if you go to the Gulf Coast, you can maybe hop on one of those casino shuttles, and it could take you to different parts of the Gulf Coast. But mom couldn't do all that stuff, so she ended up staying home, and I was the youngest. And my parents were fairly old when I came along. Dad was he was from the greatest generation from 20. He was born in 23, and Mom was what's the one? There's like they split those up. There's greatest generation, and then there's the silent generation. I think that's what they call it.
Silent generation.
Yeah, that's where my mom was, 31. And so I didn't have any boomer parents, right? My sisters are boomers, and I'm like 4 years past the boomer county line there into Gen Xville, and you know, everybody's calling me a boomer. I only made it by 2 years. I'm only 2 years in, you know. Hey,
2 years early, I'd have been a boomer.
Listen, man, even if the water goes up to your ankles, you're still in the pool, okay? You're still in the fucking pool, all right? Fuck those boomers. No, there's some cool boomers. So, there's some of them's okay. You know, there's a few. But it's just so refreshing. I don't know. Like, my girl, she's like I guess she's kind of a younger Gen X. Because she's a little more closer to the millennial, you know, because I like them young. Anyway, no old ladies for daddy. Well, okay, you know, I'm not choosy, but anyway, she gets the shit. She's like, I'll throw out like a Barney Miller reference. Oh, she'll go, oh, is that the one with before or after Jack Sue? And I'm like, what kind of witchcraft is this? How do you know that shit? She's like, oh, I know some shit. Like, okay, yeah, you know that they changed the name of what was it? The character, the main character in the Greatest American Hero. His name, I think, was Hinckley, and that show came out at the same time that Reagan got shot. So they had to change the character's last name to Hinkle. She knew that shit too. I'm just like, all right, you have been trained.
I forgot about that show.
Look, we used to get the TV Guide hardcover, well, the paperback. Before they put the glue in the spine, it was like the stapled ones, and so it had like the TV Guide. I memorized that shit because there's no internet back then, you know, and there's barely any TV. You know, like 3 channels and PBS. Everybody used to say, we got 3 channels and PBS. And, you know,
it used to be exciting to get the TV Guide back then. You know, that was an exciting time. The TV Guide came.
I used to piss off the old man because I would do the crossword puzzle in pencil, and then I would erase it so he could do it, and he'd still see some of the letters. He'd be like, just stop doing my damn puzzles, all right? I'm like, I'll pay for. He's like, I'll pay for this goddamn thing. All right, I should be able to do my own fucking puzzles. All right, Pops, don't blow a gasket, dude. It's the TV Guide, it's the crossword puzzle. All right, but I used to read all of it, and I was like the human TV guide around the house. So he'd be like, "Hey, what time's Three's Company coming on?" Dad, it's always Tuesdays at 8:30. ABC. And you know, like Data from
that'd be funny, like,
Star Trek.
It's kind of funny because you think, listen, it comes on the same time every week, the same day.
Or he'd ask me what it's about, and it'd be like, well, there's you know, it's Jack Tripper, and there's a misunderstanding somewhere. It's like, well, isn't that like every show? I'm like, well, yeah, but you know. Well, you're too busy doing the crossword puzzle. Why the hell are you going to watch TV? But yeah, he was good like that. So we didn't have cable. We had the antenna out there. We had the aerial, the one you go outside and there's the pole that you turn and you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we was out in the country, and we had a back porch. Somebody was in the bathroom. You just go take a leak off the back porch, man. You're like, you ain't waiting on no toilet. You got a toilet over here. What the hell's wrong with you? Back porch toilet. Woo! But yeah, so you'd have to go outside, and then you turn the thing, and you'd hear because the window was like, the pole would be right here, and the window's like right up here, so you'd be turning it, and he's like, all right, back. That's all right, right there. And then you let go, and they're like, no. Okay, stand out there and hold it. It's only for 20 minutes. What the fuck? I ain't gonna stand out there for 20. I stood out there for 20 minutes. He was a nice guy. He fed us. He didn't beat on us, so, we figured it. That old man was all right.
We didn't have to go. I mean, we didn't have to go outside. We just had the rabbit ears, well, when I say rabbit ears, when I talk about the antennas, my kids don't know what the heck I'm talking about. But there were times, where whoever the youngest was, whoever's house we were in, they would have to, stand there and hold the antenna and say, no, you just stay there till the show is over. Don't move. Then we're yelling, you moved.
You're not. Yeah, you're standing like, you got a leg sticking up there, and but it wasn't like they could record it on the VCR back in the old days. It's like, well, how the fuck am I supposed to watch this shit? Well, I'll tell you about it. Well, you tell me about it.
We used to do crazy stuff, Warren. Like if the antenna broke, now you got to get aluminum foil, and you got to try to build up so you can still have an antenna. The times have changed.
When you lived in the city. And the rabbit, you had like a few channels, didn't you? Didn't you have some foreign language channels too back then? Even back then?
Well, yeah, we used to have the what do they call it? It was a UHF.
Right.
So yeah, that's where we had the Spanish channels and stuff like that. But our main channels were the same. We had the CBS, NBC, ABC, PBS. But yeah, we had some UHF too. And if you got it really good. As time went on, this is right when they were first starting, a little bit of cable. Because I think the first cable I remember in New York, there was something called WHT. And then after that, I think HBO came. But those were the only channels.
You probably had a lot of cable access channels too. Did you have a lot of like these homemade TV shows and stuff like people would do? I guess they would come to the studio or something and they put them in like a little, or they have like little call-in shows. That's where I see most of those things was the call-in shows. They'd have the phone right there, but it was just for show. And they yes, caller, you're on the air, and it'd always be something like, long-time listener, first-time caller, so that traffic light over on 8th Street, you think they're ever going to fix it? that kind of thing. So, but down south, it was different. You had like those call-in shows. It was like, this guy up here next to over in Ramsey Springs, one of his cows got out, and we're trying to get him back in, but how do you call a cow? That kind of thing. And but it was great. But we had down here, it was like all you had was the TV stations were usually like in a city, but the transmitters were like way out in bumfuck Egypt somewhere, and we watched predominantly ABC shows because the transmitter was only like 5 miles away from where we lived, right? And that was also where we got PBS. So ABC and PBS came in like crystal clear, like it was on cable or something.
I wonder now that you say that, I wonder if it's like that everywhere, because if I remember right, CBS was always the worst, and ABC for us was always the clearest.
If that's a universal thing, that's weird, because this was the order where we were. So ABC's tower was closest. Then the NBC tower was somewhat close. That was in Hattiesburg. So one was like in Perkinston, one was in Hattiesburg for NBC. And then the CBS was out in New Orleans. And that's where all the good shit was. You had like Dukes of Hazzard, you had the Hulk, you had all that shit on there. And thank God A-Team was on NBC, because if it was on CBS, I would have been so fucking pissed. But anyway, but yeah, so whenever you're watching the Hulk, it would be like snowy. You can still see it, and you can still hear it, but you get that kind of sound to it. And my dad would be like, how the hell can you do that to you? You're going to ruin your eyes. And this was at the time I didn't wear glasses. I'm like, I ain't going to ruin my eyes. Come on, Hulk. You know, dude. And then at the end, yeah, I done fucked up a town. I turned green and I probably killed a few people. Now I gotta get the fuck out of here. I hope this asshole picks me up. Shithead, stop for me. Yeah, so, and Dad never understood why I liked that show so much. I said, because it teaches lessons in a snowstorm. You know, because the shit. Anyway, I don't even know what that was, what we were talking about there. Sir, I've kept you the standard hour. Do you want to hang out more? Do you got to go? What do you got to do?
No, I gotta head out because I gotta pick up my son a little bit.
You are a better person than I am. Listen, I appreciate you so much. Let's get your info in there. Black in the Empire. No E at the end because Twitter's an asshole. But you can please follow him on Twitter. He is an awesome guy, full of truth, full of common sense, and I'm so glad I've actually got to speak to you with our voices and hearing each other. And
yeah, I mean, it's always great. It's always a great way to actually like speak like people can speak to each other with vocals instead of typing over a computer.
That's what I'm trying to do with this show is just get people on that I think are very insightful, that are intelligent and interesting, and instead of just typing to each other, which is all well and good, let's talk to each other, you know. And so far so good. I appreciate you being on, brother. Any last words? Anything you want to plug or anything? You're going to be on any other shows? What's up?
I don't have any specific dates for anything coming up. I just have right now. I just have my Twitter page, Black in the Empire. I'm working on eventually having my own little channel on YouTube. If you want to subscribe there, you can do it through my Twitter page. I have my link there for my YouTube page, and that's about it.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, good sir, Darryl, a.k.a. Black in the Empire. He's on Twitter, and soon. We'll be, hopefully in the near future, we'll be on YouTube with his own show. We're going to try and make those dreams come true. We're going to do it. That's the Laverne and Shirley thing. Sorry about that. You could have went all night without hearing that. Anyway, thank you, good sir. I appreciate you. And
all right, Warren.
Let's see who is in the chat right now. Looks like the usual subjects. I just want to thank everybody that showed up for the show. Thanks for hanging out. And like I said, come Halloween, we're going to do some ghost stories and telling some tall tales and all that good stuff. Not quite sure what's going on next week, but we're going to probably have some pre-Halloween fun here. We'll let you know on the Twitters. Anyway, everybody, peace out. Have a great night. And as always, don't forget to wash your ass.